Hello and welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Sincerely hope everybody's having an amazing day, and if not, we're here to give you some extra support. So today I thought what we would do is channel messages directly from the energy of money and how you can attract it. Now there's a few different schools of thought on laws of attraction, and in my humble opinion, all of them give you a little bit piece of the puzzle. Some say that money isn't actually an energy. And, again, many different schools of thoughts. And in that, I kind of get it. But the way in which we're going to approach it today is that energy is there, money is energy, and if you believe in the abundance that you can see and attract the abundance and really click into the abundance that is all around you in the natural world, then money is naturally a part of that. So we're just gonna go into pile 1, 2, and 3, and if there's any blocks or any kind of wisdom that we can give you to really click back into your energy, click back into your abundance, click back into your own personal magnetism, and beauty and power, to bring in that abundance quicker and easier to you, then that's what we'll do. Now, as a disclaimer, this is not a reading that's going to initiate this real quick get rich scheme or anything like that. If anything, maintaining your frequency and maintaining your ability of self worth and knowing that you deserve everything that you want, and believing in your own magic and power, and therefore bringing in the abundance takes a little bit of time. But once you get on that sort of train, as it were, you can live that abundant life. So that's more the energy around what we'll be doing today. So, and also, if we need a little bit of Reiki to heal up some past wounds or some past that comes up that could be hindering you in any way, to really collecting in on your law of attraction or your sense of abundance, then we'll be working on that. And for those of you who have been with me before, and if you're brand new, of course, welcome, welcome. But those of you who have tuned into Unicorn Light Tarot before, we always have a magic candle. This is for luck and beauty and abundance. So you can look into the flame, release what no longer serves you, and pull in all the energy that you need in order to have that abundant life. So we're starting off with 3 piles. Now I've put the dragon. Let's see, we have the dragon oracle cards on the top, and I just want you to focus on, we have the first one is pure white dragon from Urian. So take a look at that and take a moment. Now, in order for you to pick your pile, it may be the energy, it may be Orion, it may be the colors. Something will resonate with you, and if it doesn't, then that isn't your pile. And then pile 2 is orange gold dragon from Aturius. And again, it could be the energy, the colors, whatever it is that's attracting you there. And we'll get into more of these, into these cards a little bit later on. And that's your pile 2 if you're attracted to that pile. And your pile 3 for those of you who are white gold dragons from Lyra. Again, whatever draws you in, the energy, the colors, it's an amalgam of all of it. It's really, really totally up to you. So we're going to take a moment to take in a deep breath and hold it for a second, and as we release, we're just going to release what no longer serves us and really do our best to stay in the present moment. The more aligned you are with your own intuition, the more aligned you will be with this reading. If you need to go ahead and pause the video, as always, please feel free to do whatever you need to do at any time. We support you in that. The timestamps will be down below. So let's get right into these channeled readings for you. So we're just going to put aside pile 1 and pile 2, pile 2 and pile 3. So if you chose pile 1, you've got the pure white dragon from Uran. And again, we have our beautiful candle here that's also going to be aiding, and we do also have our Reiki. So what we're going to do is we've got a couple of tarot cards here, and we've got your beautiful dragon energy here. And again, we are doing messages from the energy of money and how can you attract it. And this is an abundance reading. So your first card is transforms your ascension knowledge into pure wisdom. Process what you know. Act with truth and honesty. Let your wings of light grow and expand. So that's you. Let's see what we have here. We have temperance and we have the 4 of cups reversed. So let's see what we have here for you. So pile 1, the essence of who you are is definitely alchemist, taking baseline, sort of lower frequency, and learning how to sort of level up and transform it into higher frequency, and teaching others how to do that also. That's part of your abundance. That's part of what you do. It's also a matter of speaking your truth and acting with integrity. Now, you always act with integrity, but you don't necessarily, pile 1, feeling as though you don't necessarily interact in the world in a way where your truth or your integrity is being integrated or woven into the fabric of life. And that's what you're here to do. And part of your mission with coming into abundance and attracting exactly what it is, it's about getting yourself out there. It's about integrating your truth, integrating your integrity. The more you do that, the more you level up just a little bit more, and integrate just a little bit more, the more freedom you feel, the more connection you feel, and the more abundance comes to you. So for you here, there's a gentleness and there's a softness and there's a beauty, and we totally understand why you would do this. There's a lot of meaning for you to staying on the outskirts, sort of the exterior, as it were, looking in. You're the sort of the observer of life, and from there you can sort of see the objective viewpoint of being able to see exactly what everybody's doing and saying. And there's a collective energy that's coming out at any given time. And there's a collective energy of the sort of the wound of how people are reacting within the wound energy. And there's collective energy, how people are taking that wound energy and transforming it into something much higher. And when we say higher, we're not saying that anyone's better than anyone else, not at all, but transforming it even further. And that's, it's almost like you perch yourself up on the highest hill or on the outskirts so you can see this process. And of course, this is important for you to do because that's what you do. As somebody who's an alchemist, that's what you do. You're also extremely sensitive. So there's parts of your healing that you've needed to do on the outskirts without fully integrating, because that's what you felt like you needed to do. Now, we're behind you 150%, no matter how you felt you needed to heal. That's the way you needed to do. We're not here to question you in any way, shape, or form. We are here to say that while that may have worked for you in the past, and again, that's wonderful, pulling yourself out of the fabric of life just a little bit in order to sort of see objectively what's going on and in order to figure things out. Part of that was necessary, but it was also done in a way to keep you safe because of your extreme sensitivity and your beauty. And also you were born into this world with this incredible open heart. Now, it's been shut down in certain times because it's had to out of protection, but you have this incredible heart. And it has this capacity to be broken many times and to still be here. Now, a lot of people don't work that well with heartbroken. They get a disappointment, they do something, and that's just the way they are. But they let it affect them, and then they get tougher, and some people even move into sort of bitterness. Now you can move back from that whenever you want. You've actually gone the other way, and even though you've been quite hard on yourself at times, that you're not as open as you want to be, or this, that, and the other, because you feel like something might be missing a little bit, because you are on the outskirts and you sense and that you're not integrated into the fabric of society. But at the same time, you pulled yourself out for a reason, but you have this tender-heartedness that is absolutely beautiful. Now, what we want you to do, if you want to, it's always up to you, of course, but what you're in a position to do now, Pal One, is really beautiful, is integrate on your own terms. As you integrate, you get right into the fabric of society, and what happens is that integration makes way for your path and that abundance to come to you. Now, you've been trying to do a lot of your magic on the outskirts. Now, for a while, you needed to protect that magic to get back up to where you were, because you've been knocked down quite a bit. So we totally understand that. But now you're being asked to integrate into the fabric of society, and then you can bring your wisdom with you. There's only so much. I think there's I know I'm going to hash this up, so for all you fans out there, my sincerest apologies. But there's a line in Practical Magic. I believe it's both in the book, but I do know it's in the film, and I do believe I've said this on it's this channel. There's so many videos I've done, I couldn't tell you which one, but it's like, you can't practice magic by looking down your nose at it, and that's not exactly what you're doing. You're not looking down your nose at it, but practicing magic from without being on the forefront, without being integrated into the fabric of society, is not giving you your full power. Now you're ready to get back into the integration. Now what you've done is you've protected yourself to bring yourself back, and you have protected yourself so you can build yourself up and observe and see what's going on. But the other thing that you've done in that protection is that you've blocked some of that abundance. You've blocked some of that abundance, and some of you are well aware of this. If you're resonating with this Pal One, you're well aware that you've blocked some of your abundance. But you're very articulate. You're very intelligent. You've leveled it up and said, no, I do know that I'm blocking to a certain degree, but at the same time, I still need to be safe. There's still more that I need to do, sort of behind in the woods, getting this ready. And it's not necessarily that you want your ta-da moment, I'm here, I've done this. It's just that some of this healing needed to be done outside of the world, because you feel so much. But this is your time. You're ready to get integrated into the fabric of society. Now, doing that, you can bring in your voice, you can bring in your truth. And what happens here, and this is incredibly important, is that you can really start seeing yourself through the viewpoint of other people. Now, normally we would say for you, that's not been entirely healthy for you. But because you've been working on your viewpoint, because you've been working on your beauty, and your viewpoint really incorporates every other viewpoint, because you've been working on your power, people notice and feel that about you. So when you integrate back into the fabric of society, people will comment on that. And it would be good for you to be able to see yourself through your power, through other people's point of view, because you're extremely powerful. And that's the thing about working in a solitary way, because you only see things from your point of view. And yes, there's different versions of you that you've been working with, but you still ultimately just have that one point of view. So it'd be absolutely wonderful for you to be able to see your complexity and your beauty through everybody else's point of view. And it's absolutely wonderful. Now, when you come out and you go into the fabric of society, you might trigger some, because as you're of the light, not everybody wants to work with the light. Everybody wants to go in their own particular direction. Again, it's a free will zone here on Earth, but it doesn't necessarily mean, just because it's a free will zone, real talk here, Pal One, that you're following in the right direction necessarily. A lot of people really misunderstand their emotions for truth. I feel this way, I'm gung-ho, so it must be true. And if you're not aligned with it, then you don't know. And they misinterpret. Now, this is one of the main reasons why you pulled yourself out, so you could get in touch with all of this, see that point of view, understand and break it down why people do that, and understand and break it down how you've done this within yourself. So you no longer do this, and you know that for you, that's not the path forward. Now, everybody, again, has free will. But you also understand that other people's truths are very much sometimes made up on people's opinions and people's thoughts and people's emotions, and that's very shaky ground. And it certainly doesn't make for ultimate truth, which includes every other truth, right? And being open. So, when you come out and you integrate into the fabric of society, yes, you might be triggered. You might trigger folks like that. But that's, again, something that you don't need to worry, because within that time that you've taken yourself out, you've also assessed how to build your boundaries. And this is something that you've really needed to learn. A lot of you have learned that because it's been very sort of painful lessons of boundaries, because you didn't have that before. But you've learned that now. So you're able to really sort of disassociate other people's energy sometimes. And sometimes that's a good thing to do, because you can help people more if you align yourself with who it is they could be, but then cut yourself from the immediate energy if they're not getting it, and say, I can respect where you are, but I'm not taking on that energy. And whereas before you would have taken on that energy, let it flow through you to figure out how to work with it. For you, I don't want to say that's dangerous necessarily, but it was a very overwhelming way to do it. It's a very brave and even controversial at times way of doing it. It's a brilliant way of doing things. And it brought you to a lot of understanding about yourself and the world, but you no longer need to work like that. So for you, the messages of the energy of love is coming back to love of yourself, coming back to the love of existence, coming back to the love of being human, coming back to the love of your own magic and your own power, and expressing that love. For you, it's coming, you know that love, you're very much in touch with it. Now it's expressing it and integrating it into the fabric of society. Once that love is expressed and integrated, what happens is you connect directly with your abundance, and you get that magical life that you want at that level. And you're not, what you're not doing anymore once you integrate is you're not blocking yourself from a lot of this beauty that's trying to come in for you. Because as we protect, of course, and again, you needed to protect in that way, but as we protect and keep ourselves back a little bit, we do protect, we absolutely do. And something beautiful came out of that protection, but you're also protecting yourself from the beauty of life. So your energy is telling you right now is to integrate and then to keep up that abundance by doing that. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to send you a little bit of Reiki. So we're going to start with a Choku Ray, the power symbol right there. And what we're going to do here, and I've been doing a few, the recent ones, I think the last 3 or 4, maybe 3, so you can always look them up. I've gone back to doing Reiki, and I don't think, the Karuna Reiki is the first one that I'm doing, the power symbol, and we're going to be doing a Seiheki here too. I'm going to be sending that to you, but I'm actually working, that's Asui Reiki. Sorry, I'm actually working with Karuna Reiki with all of these other symbols, and these are beautiful Reiki symbols. I don't know if I ever said that before. So this is Karuna Reiki. I find that Karuna Reiki, this is the Rama symbol here, clears the mind. It helps you heal the lower chakras. This is something you've been working on, just a little extra energy, and it also helps you manifest material goals. So for those of you who are working on these material goals here in abundance, this will absolutely help. And we're gonna just put a little bit here with the Choku Ray. So just breathe deeply and take in that energy. Let's get you a cosmic dancer here too. So this is all available for you now. You've done all of the work, so it's just a matter of stepping in to the energy that is you and pulling that abundance to you. Part of this is knowing your self-worth. Here, retreat and recharge. Absolutely, that's what you were doing. Look at this beautiful energy. This is what she's doing. Absolutely. And we want to be clear that when you did retreat and you did recharge, this was the right thing for you to do. Instinctively, you always know what's right for you. Now, sometimes you may have gone against your intuition for the experience, and a lot of us do that. And that's perfectly fine, but you got those red flags. And again, and I said this before on this channel, the red flag is between your guides and the person that's giving you the red flag. The person that's giving you the red flag has no idea they're giving you red flags. That's why it's the red flag. It's between you and your beautiful angels. And your angels know, you know, and you've gotten these red flags before. So if you've ignored these red flags and gone on willy-nilly, that's up to you, and that's experience that you've gained. But you also know that the retreating and the recharging was a way for you, again, to really scope out what needed to be done. And what the biggest thing needed to be done too was the core of who you are, and to know that you absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, deserve what it is that you're asking for. And this is something that you've needed to work on, and this is fundamental when you are attracting what it is that you want, and also being very clear about what it is that you wanted to, because sometimes it's about the language. It's about how you speak to yourself and how you speak to the universe for abundance. For instance, we'll give you an example, and if you want to integrate this into your studies or for your abundance, it's totally up to you. Now, and it's just a way for you to be clear about what it is that you want. And you can script this out. Your mind works a little bit differently when you speak things out, when you write things down. Your subconscious mind gets involved, and then you get a much tighter, abundant package that you can present to the universe. But let's just say, I want a big house. Now, there's nothing wrong with asking for a big house, nothing whatsoever. But let's just say you break it down. I want a big house because I've never had one before. I've never had a safe place for myself, and I've done a lot of work on myself, and I believe that I need a place to retreat to that's absolutely just mine. I would like it to be big because I would love it to be an open place for people to come, a safe haven for others. Also, I want to work from home. I want to set up a business, something that can help humanity, something that will make humanity better. So I need a lot of space at home for me to divide my time up successfully, to have a successful business, and also make it feel like my home. Now, see the difference there from asking, I just want a big home, for the breaking down the reasons why and bringing it back to of being of service. Now, when you do that, you realize that, there's nothing wrong with asking for the big home, and you don't need to do this at all. But by breaking it down, you realize that there's a reason why you want that house, and there's a reason why you want a big house, right? And you've broken down the reasons, and those reasons you're entitled to. Those reasons, well, entitled, don't necessarily like that word. Those reasons are perfectly valid reasons for you to have that house, and you deserve to be able to have that house. You're in a position to bring that beautiful energy that you have to fruition and put it into a business to help others, and to generate enough money to buy the house. So we're just asking you for the abundance too, is to break everything down that you want, break it down and bring it back to how you deserve. Once you're clicking into, yeah, I deserve to have this house. I deserve to have a big house because of X, Y, and Z, these reasons. Now, we've just given you a couple reasons today, but there may be a myriad of different reasons that you can add on there. And put that down. Make it really clear about why you want that house. Know that you deserve that house. Know that you can deliver the kind of life that you can help humanity, and in that house, know that you deserve it, and then see you in that house, and then it is yours. So let's just see. So we're going to use these cards. If there's anything else here that's blocking you that we can give you some extra information about, it will come up here. So let's just see what we have for you too. Okay, so recovery. And this initially was reversed, but we turned it up. We're turning it up. Yes, it's recovery. Again, stating exactly what we said to reiterate. You needed to recover. You needed to do this on your own terms. Again, we want to go back to this. Your process is what you know. Act with truth and honesty. Let your wings of light grow and expand. You always knew that you were here to do this. You needed to do this on your own terms. Pile one, you're used to doing things on your own terms, and we highly commend you on that. So, but this is your time to get back in there, integrate back into the fabric of society. And with that, you get the help that you need to. Your soul family comes in, the energy of inclusion comes in, and the energy of, we just want to remind you that you didn't come here to do this alone. You really didn't. You came here to work with others. You came here to work with us. You came here to work with the energy of the universe, in totality with others coming in. You came here to be part of a group. Now, you haven't always been that way, one way or another, or you've dipped your toes into groups and this, that, and the other. It's not like you don't have people who will back you up. It's not like you don't have essences of soul family, but you've not met all of them yet. And they're here to help you in divine light and divine guidance through business and love and light and all these different areas and aspects of your life. So you're ready to move out of the recovery stage. You're ready to move into this high abundance stage. And of course, you've worked on the abundance stage. You know how the energy of the universe works. You know how your own energy works. It's time to mingle now and bring this into fruition. So keep breathing deeply through the Reiki. Drink water after the session if it feels correct to you. So let's get you a unicorn card here. Let's see what we have. Listening. Listen and the answer will be revealed. Absolutely. 33-2. A beautiful angel number. So listening, this is something that you've always done. Listen to your intuition. Again, trusting your intuition at that impeccable level, and knowing that every step that you take is taking you closer to that abundant life that you want. You're an excellent listener for other people. Listening to your own inner calling is something that you've had to work on, because again, impatience could have come in there, or you've set a goal and you've said, I really want this, and then a part of your psyche comes in and says, yeah, but we're not going to get that yet, so let's go there, and then go off in different directions. And that's fine. You've been working through the surviving part and moving into the thriving part. So now you're just being asked to listen to your soul, knowing which way to move forward. And again, baby steps, just take that first step. The next step will come up, the next step will come up. But learning to trust yourself and learning to trust the energy of the universe as you move forward. And remembering that everything that you've asked for or everything that you've wanted has actually been in fruition one way or another. It's coming to fruition now, but it's been growing your entire life. This is not brand new stuff. And even if it seems brand new, it's sort of piggybacking off of other things that you want. And you can trust yourself to know that everything that you've asked for ultimately is for the best. It's not from the ego. It's absolutely coming to you so you can be your best self, live your most abundant life, so you can give more light to the world. So you don't need to worry about that. Never distrust yourself in that way. Because a part of you, I feel like for some of you, Pawan, it's that you're not asking for enough. You're not asking for enough. You always ask for bare minimum. There's nothing wrong with that. Having that sort of beautiful, humble life. But remember, if you live big, you can help big too. That doesn't necessarily work in every sense of the word. But if you want $1 million, the universe doesn't discriminate between $1 and $1 million. But think what you can do with $1 million to help others versus that $1. Buy yourself a bag of beans, so we're asking at this point too to listen to your real soul, to listen to your actual soul of what you actually want. You might need to regroup on that and go higher, go bigger. You're ready to pull in whatever it is that you need right now. So let's finish off here with some C melodies. Let's get you a little feeling a little mermaid energy, a little magic energy, but this is getting back to your own magic. Now, you've been working on really powerful magic and connecting to your own voice and truth. It's just a matter of integrating it into the world, and it's a very powerful time for you as you integrate back into the world, because again, you're moving through those blocks of the universe trying to give you stuff, and some of you have actually, I can see your hand is up and saying it's not the right time, it's not the right time, I don't need this now. And that you have absolutely every right to do that, and of course you were probably right, but the universe is telling you this is timing now, this is the right time for you to step in and achieve whatever it is that you want at this time. Live large, explore, maps show what has already been discovered, go another way. Absolutely beautiful message to end with there. Right there, Palwan. Explore. The world is ready for you to explore on your own terms with your beautiful magic intact. There's nothing for you that's holding you back. No need to block any abundance coming to you. Remember, live large, get back into your soul, and ask yourself what it is you truly want. You might need to make it bigger, get really clear, break it down. You can script. There's many different ways to pull in abundance. There's a million different ways on YouTube. You know what works for you. You've been working on the sidelines for so long, so you know what works for you. You know your own energy, and you're now responsible for it. You're responsible for your own energy. You're responsible for your own life. So go out there and show the world who you are. So hopefully this resonated with you, Palwan. We gave you a little bit of Reiki and support and help, a little bit of guidance. So if this resonated with you, feel free to give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comments below. And of course, if you're not subscribed, we would love you to subscribe and hit that bell icon and come be with us. That sounded a little freaky 70s horror movies. I didn't mean it to sound like that, but we would love to have you here at Unicorn Light Tarot. There's so much with the playlists, so much going on, and of course, as always, I will leave tons of links down below of many different ways. We have the Unicorn School of Light, so many different playlists and so many different things going on, books to read, for your intuition to go further, to get a little bit more support and light, whatever it is you need. Everything will be down below. Just let your intuition choose which direction you want to go, because you know you better than you. So until we meet again, stay safe and stay safe and sane, Palwan. Sending so much love and light to you. Really excited about your abundant life. Take care. Bye-bye. My lovely Pal 2s. If you chose Pal 2, this is your reading. As a reminder, we'll be using Reiki, and I don't think we mentioned this before, but we start off with a Sui Reiki, which is the regular sort of basic Reiki, but I also use Karuna Reiki too, the Karuna symbols, which are really deep and fascinating. I love Karuna Reiki, so that will be an extra aid for you today. And do not forget, we also have our abundance candle too, letting go of energy that no longer serves you and pulling in the energy that you want. So we have a couple tarot cards underneath here, but if you chose Orange Gold Dragon from Arturius, opens you to knowledge for the new golden age. Carry the energy of the future, be a guiding light. And again, we are getting messages from the energy of money. It's abundance reading. How can you attract it? So let's see what we have here. So that's who you are. And we have death and the 10 of Swords reversed. Okay, Pal 2, this is a wonderful reading for you. You're definitely going through what we call sort of some sort of spiritual death. There's been not an actual death. A lot of people are afraid of the death card or even the devil card, but it's nothing to be worried about. I mean, just look at this card. It's absolutely beautiful. Now, it feels as though for many of you, there's been what we call sort of little deaths. Activations, ups and downs, probably within 2020, certainly in the last 8 months. But some of you could have been 10 years, some of you could have been 5 years. They're all general readings, so different energy for different of you. But really, at the end of the day, you've had these little deaths, but this does feel as though this is something that's falling away, that's major, that no longer works for you anymore. And for some of you, you could be feeling a little sort of out of focus. Your energy could be a little bit down, or your energy's up and down. like you have too much energy, you can't sleep, or there's not enough regulation with your energy in and around the world. And we want to remind you that you are here for this. So you are here specifically, Pal, to bring in the wisdom of ancient wisdom, the wisdom that you have, but to integrate it into, again, we were talking about the fabric of society for Pal 1, so we're gonna use that terminology as we move through your reading too, but to integrate that knowledge into the fabric of society and bring it to fruition in a brand new gorgeous way. We've talked about spirituality and we've talked about new ageism on this channel before. Now there's nothing instinctively wrong with it necessarily, but some of it gets a little woo woo, and there's a reason why it gets a little woo woo too. It's because, in the past, or the distant, the not so distant past, it's that, that's the energy that we were at. And for people to really align with it, that's how the energy was in and around the information for it to get out there. And then, to provide a sort of a platform or a foundation. And then, if individuals, wanted to go further, they could go deeper, they could go deeper, they could go deeper. And that's what you've done. But really, a lot of this information now is just sort of really preliminary information. Yeah, it certainly opened people up and it gave people a certain amount of foundation. So that's absolutely wonderful. And again, that's where we were. We were sort of piercing the veil before. So the way in which New Ageism or spirituality really fell into that piercing the veil kind of understanding of information. And a lot of that is a lot of that information, it still exists, but it's only sort of it's sort of showing itself as somewhat one dimensional. Now we're not saying that to look down on it. Again, it was very important information at the time, and it was piercing the veil. So it was revolutionary in many ways, and for some reason, and for some people, it was very important because again, it built a foundation of knowledge, knowing that the information existed, and from there they were able to do their own work, and they were able to feel as though, okay, I can live in this world. There is something more. Right? So it was very important work at the time. But you're here to bring that energy. You're not even working with the energy of New Ageism or spirituality. You've kind of bypassed that altogether. You're bringing in the actual energy of what we need from ancients. And that's really what New Age is. It's really old energy. It's old wisdom. And it's just wrapped up in a sort of a little nutshell of what we needed to be able to pierce the veil. You're bringing really, really old, ancient, beautiful wisdom here. And you're here on this earth at this time knowing that the veil's been pierced, it's been ripped, it's been shredded, it is down. And you are here to absolutely bring this beautiful energy in a sort of a new way, which is ironic because it actually isn't in a new way, but you're here to bring the power on the strength of that energy back to the world and integrate it. And that's exactly what you're here to do. And you're here to bring it with truth and with realism and with this real oomph. You're not here to pierce anything. You're here to be. And there's others like you here to do this. Now, you knew in this lifetime that this would happen. You knew that you would have an incredible lifetime of being able to see all sorts of things and be able to see a lot of falling and crumbling of these systems that no longer work. Now, a lot of people use the word matrix, and I'm not going to go into all of that right now, but for want of a better term, yes, all of those societal stuff that never really worked for anybody, but had people sort of in control or controlled, or, even if you weren't controlled, you still had to live in a society which was very frustrating and very disheartening for people because they didn't know how to exist in something that didn't represent them. So you're here to represent all of that. You're here to bring it all back, a lot of wisdom, a lot of beauty. Now, again, there were increments as to how you were going to do that. And so there's been a lot of little deaths, but you've come up to this point now where it's absolutely brand new. Now, as you move through what feels like death to you, now you could have had death around you, or there could have been literal death. There could have been something. Usually there's some kind of catalyst with something so big. Something's fallen away, the ending of something. It could be a relationship. It'll be different for each and every one of you. And for some of you, it won't be so, I don't know if we want to use the word dramatic, but not so obvious necessarily, just a feeling of something missed or this, that, and the other, a longing for something. But usually, when we're in this state, when we come to this kind of ending, and of course the ending represents a brand new opening, it usually comes in with a lot of stuff that's rounding up in your life that is leaving also. So this could be quite painful, and coming out on the other side of this too, losing your, a sense of identity, which of course feels very unnerving at the time, but it's what's needed to move into who you will actually be. And who you will actually be and who you're actually leading up to is an amalgam of everything and everyone. you know, letting go of labels, letting go of all of this stuff. You're ascending, but you're ascending in a way. And we want to be clear, this is beyond the ego, but it's not like you're better than anyone else and this, that, and the other. It's not that kind, ascending. People get mixed up with that, oh, I've ascended, I'm this, that, and the other. Now I'm going to teach you this one way of doing things. No, you're quite the opposite, and that's not what we're saying. So this is you coming in with all this wisdom, and you're getting ready for this sort of new beginning. Now, for some of you, even if you're resonating with this at pal 2, you might be at different stages. You might feel as though everything's falling away, and you're coming into this sort of, we're going to call it a new beginning, because it is a new beginning for you. It's a brand new beginning. And it's an amalgam of everything that you've learned as that foundation, as that strength for you. A lot of aha moments are coming in, a very firm foundation for you to move in and really stand in your own truth and stand in your own power. Now, we know that when you stand in your own truth, you stand in your own power, and you stand in your own magic, what happens? You connect directly to abundance. You directly connect to the abundance all around you. You don't see your life as anything but abundant. And once you're in that mind frame, you can live an abundant life. People say things like, oh, I'm going to call in abundance. Well, abundance is everywhere. You don't need to call it in per se. You just need to recognize that it's there. So for you, it's about this part of what you're going through is really understanding and renegotiating, redeveloping your existence and your relationship to the universe, to abundance, to yourself, and to your own self-worth. This is very powerful stuff, but as you move through these lessons, it will qualify you, if we want to call it that, to the next level, which means that everything that's come before no longer really exists for you. So again, it's falling away. It could be quite painful for you. So we're going to send you so much love and light for you. If your energy in your physical body is feeling, sometimes as we're going through this, again, your energy can be up and down. There could be some grief coming out, some literal grief, because people and situations have fallen away and they've moved to the stars, or other kinds of grief that's just coming up for you. You're moving through areas of guilt too, times that you've given yourself hard times for and felt guilty for. All that stuff is coming up for you now to release completely. Guilt and grief, the two G's, are coming up for you. Pile 2, again, you've really worked on really understanding your emotions, and not being really seeing your emotions as this flow of life, but not getting attached or not getting in and around them. You weren't always connected to your emotions, even though you're incredibly emotional. So you spent a good portion of your life being overly emotional in some ways to get right in the middle of it, so you could take it on and really understand what emotions are, because that's how you are. You're hands-on. If you're going to do something, you're going to do it 150%, right? If you're going to commit, you're going to commit. But now you understand what your emotions are and how powerful they are. You know you're a superstar when you use your emotions, but you also know that you can use them as an indicator. You can use them as something that just comes in and out, flowing. They're a barometer for you, but you don't have to get in and make your life decisions from the emotions. You don't have to succumb to them anymore. So as they come up, the grief and the guilt, allow them to come up. Don't get invested in them. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're very busy doing other stuff right now, connecting back into your original truth that you were born into, to get out there back into the integration of the fabric of society, to really integrate and hone in on your magical life. Again, stop saying, not you. All right, don't. We never want to tell you what to do. But the idea of calling in abundance when abundance is already abundant is something that just it's going to hold you back a little bit. You're at that point where wording is everything. We talked about this a little bit in pile one, but in a slightly different direction. Wording is everything. You're at that point where you've worked on the big picture stuff, you've worked on the little picture stuff. You can now pull it together and see how it works for you. How you speak to yourself, how you word things, how you see things, how things fall into place is very much from your own perception, your own reality. You know this now without a shadow of a doubt. Now, we all know this, but we don't always know how to shift our reality and our perspective. But this is something that you've been working with. You're uniquely designed for this. You came in for this because you came in with all this ancient knowledge that was blowing up inside of you one way or another. You had to work within sort of a life that was quite limiting at that point, society and all of that, because you did see how limiting it was. And even though other people may have saw how limiting it was, they managed to integrate a little bit better maybe than you did. So you were always sort of on the sidelines a little bit going, why am I not as successful? Why am I not doing this? Why am I not doing that? And this is something that, but this is your time. There was a reason why you were kind of pulling yourself out a little bit. Again, somewhat similar situations to pile one, but very different energy. But this is what you were doing. You were observing like pile one, and now coming back into your magic. This is your time as everything's crumbling. It's crumbled to the ground. This is your time to rise up. Remember the phoenix from the I was going to say the phoenix from the attic, and I kind of like that for you because you have your own versions of things. You don't like succumbing to old versions of things too, and you are here to put the brand new spin on the old, and you do that very well, especially with your voice and the way you articulate yourself. It's very mysterious and it's really beautiful. So the phoenix rising from the ashes going into the attic is perfect for you. You have this great sense of humor. You're able to really reach people because you listen to who they are and you allow them, give them space to be who they are. And this is something that you've had to cultivate for yourself. But you've cultivated this and you're moving through it. So if you're at the point where you're feeling this death card and you're feeling it, we want you to concentrate on that hope that starts at your base chakra, at the bottom of your shell there, the bottom of your tailbone, and goes all the way up, and you can feel it. We want you to feel that hope. We want you to feel that connection, and it's a brand new connection. Yes, it's a connection that's based on connections that you've been working towards fitting together, but this is a brand new connection to your abundance, to your power, to your magic, to your voice, and to your truth. There's all these things coming in. It's extremely powerful. It's also coming in to know that this is your time for speaking your truth into existence. You have beautiful visualization, pile 2. You know that when you are aligned, you absolutely know that you can speak your truth into existence. You've done it many times before. You may have even tested the universe in really small incremental ways. You can do this in big ways. Now you can live this life again, not calling in abundance, but seeing abundance everywhere. It's about renegotiating or reliving and rewiring your connection with how you see abundance and how you see power. Sometimes you've seen power as something that's come in when you've needed it. In that right moment, your power has come to you and you've said the right thing. You've stood up for someone. You've stood up for yourself. You've done it. But we want you to see this power as always being there, as being absolutely standard in your life and people sensing it and knowing it all of the time. Again, not having to call in your power, but standing from a place of power. So let's see, let's give you a little bit of, I want to look through here. Ooh, yes, absolutely. We are going to, first of all, we're going to send you a little bit of Reiki. Now, you don't have to take the Reiki. You don't have to do anything you don't want to do. But if you don't, just relax with it. You don't have to take it in, but we're just going to offer you if you want it. So we're going to start with the power symbol, which is the Usui Reiki, and we're going to, as mentioned at the beginning, this is Karuna Reiki symbols, which I absolutely love, and this is the Shanti symbol here. I love this symbol. Now it heals fear and panic. It manifests the best results and it increases your clairvoyance. It also brings peace and creates trust in life, yourself, and the universe. And if you are having those ups and downs, it also will heal your insomnia. It will really help you out there. So let's do the Seihei Ki 2. Bring in the masculine and feminine, which will also help heal you. And then we're going to do one more choku-rei there. So keep breathing through that as we're coming into that. And if I forget to tell you at the end of the session, if you did allow in the Reiki, feel free to drink a lot of water and filter through all of this energy. So we're going to get you some extra energy here, some extra. So we want to know if there's anything else that's blocking you that's coming up. So we're going to use this card, cards here, to see if there's any other information that's blocking you. But again, we've talked about seeing your power everywhere, and instead of calling in, knowing abundance is there. And really, you're getting set up here to have the kind of abundant life. So you're already working on shifting that perception. You're well in the process of doing that. So let's see what we have for you here. Despondence. Absolutely. And we just want to, that's where we sent you some extra Reiki energy there. And miracle. Yeah, absolutely. If you're going through this now, for want of a better term, we're going to call it the dark night of the soul, but really you've been through the dark night of the soul many times. This is a new beginning, but it may feel like that on a sort of a more sort of void level. I want to remind you, a lot of people are very nervous about the void, and it's totally understandable because, when you go into it, there's just seemingly nothing. But we want you to get used to that sort of emptiness and not see it as a lack of, but in a way of bringing in the abundance, like that brand new beginning. So again, shifting that energy, shifting that perspective. But if you're in the midst of all of this going on and you're being affected sort of physically too, if you can, give yourself a break, try to rest as much as you can through this. As we always say here, this too shall pass, and it really will. This is really just a new door opening up for you. But as you reach through that door and move through that door, everything is falling away. And of course, we totally understand, and we just wrap you in a blanket of light. That can be very disconcerting in many different ways. So allow all that grief and everything that's coming up. Again, we talked about that emotionality. You've worked with that too. So let's get you a little extra beauty here. We've got the Cosmic Dancer. But you're exactly where you need to be. And this is an absolute beautiful journey. And we want to say that this is a brand new beginning insofar as this is the sort of, you've lived a certain kind of life thus far. And you're moving into a different kind of life. It's much more effortless. It's a completely different pace. So we promise you what you're going through right now will be worth it. Just hang on, pile 2. Be fluid. Absolutely. Let's get you one more. We talked about that, especially with your emotionality. Flow with divine timing. So again, this idea and this understanding of flowing through, letting things happen, not getting attached, and not getting attached to the idea of, yes, I'm going through the dark night of the soul. Yes, I'm in this void. You are, that's fine. The perception, bring yourself out of that. Just accept where you are if you can and move through it. This is your divine timing to do this, to be fluid. Again, we talked about really not being able to assess, certainly, but in these moments of coming out of not getting attached to your emotions or where you physically are right now, you'll have these aha moments of, oh, that's why this happened. This is why that happened. There will be a lot of those moments before you reach for that door and move through it finally. So hold on there, pile 2. We promise you, this is an abundance reading, and that abundance is right. It's there for you everywhere. You are living an abundant life right now, but if there's other things going on, trust us, this is all moving aside so you can pull in that abundant life and keep it there. Flight, let your creative imagination fly. Absolutely, this is time for you for new ideas, new ways of being. So even if you don't feel as though it's quite the right time or quite the right energy to pull this into fruition and have these beautiful ideas manifest just yet. Just the fact that you're opening up to these brand new ideas and these brilliant new sort of insights to who you already are, but taking off the shackles of the old. Stay with that. Stay with the positive. Stay with the beauty. You've absolutely got this. You know, what you're doing is not small. You're setting up a huge new sort of life, connection to life that has no resistance anymore. You're working through all of those lower and those lower sort of entities and that were not necessarily attracted to you, but you know, these lower sort of forms in and around. You also picked up a lot of energy from the world and took it in as a way to sort of figure out how to work with it. And again, there's no wrong or right way to do that. But a lot of this is moving forward now, and knowing that you don't need to take on that energy. So there's a lot of things that you're shedding right now. So allow for that shedding to come in. But also at the end of the day, this is a brand new way for you to be in the world, and a brand new way for you to wield your energy, and have the life that you want. So, and have the connection to abundance that you've already have, that you've acquired, but it's come in and out, 3 steps backwards, 5 steps forward. Da, da, da. This is a new plateau for you. So this is not a small thing. Direction. Trust your inner compass and find your bearings. Absolutely. So just trust that where you are is exactly where you need to be, but at the same time, again, concentrating on in the moment without being, you know, taking on too much of that energy, and absolutely knowing that this is all shedding for you to feel the abundance constantly around you. Instead of pulling in the abundance, sense where the abundance is everywhere around you, getting this new version of this trust in life, trust in abundance. And of course, it goes down to the core of who you are, knowing that this is your time, for your time to rise into the attic, right? Rise into the attic like the phoenix flying. So keep breathing. You've got this. If you're coming out to the other side of the ending, the ending is nigh. You can feel it from the other side of this too shall pass moment. Then this is wonderful, and you're absolutely sensing abundance all in and around you. Start writing down what it is that you want, what it is that you want to achieve. Make it as detailed as possible. See yourself there. Start working your magic. Start testing the universe. Start asking the universe. Start working with meditation. All of those things that you do that you've integrated already into your life. Step that you're in a position to step that up and watch. And again, you are incredible. You visualize into fruition. You can absolutely bring in whatever it is that you want. You've done this before. So now you can take this to the next level and dream big and bring it in and bring in that reality. So regardless of where you are, we're sending you love and light. You've got this, pal, too. You've absolutely got this. You've got that direction. This is a beautiful time. No matter where you are, please enjoy where you are, because you've earned this. You've worked so hard to get here, and we're sending you so much love and light. Stay safe and sane. If this absolutely resonated with you, please feel free to give us a thumbs up and let us know in the comments below. And of course, subscribe and hit that bell icon if you are not a member of the Unicorn Light Tarot family. We would love to have you. There is so much going on here, as always. And as always, I will leave a ton of links below for the Unicorn School of Light and other things that are going on, other ways to stay in touch with this energy and get a little bit more light and love. And remember, sit afterwards, do a little bit of meditation for you if it feels right, drink water. We're going to continue to send you Reiki throughout this evening whenever you've clicked on this video, to keep working with you and to send you as much support as we can, because we truly love you and are so glad that you are on this earth with us at this time. So glad that you chose to be here with us at this time in history. Again, sending so much love and light to you. Stay safe and sane until we meet again, pile 2. Hey, my beautiful pile 3s. If you chose this pile, Do not forget we have our beautiful candle here set for abundance, and we're also going to be working with some Reiki to help heal, release some blocks however you need to use it. And as stated, as well as using the sort of more common Usui Reiki, I also use Karuna Reiki symbols too, which are really, really beautiful. So if I hadn't mentioned that before, that's what we're doing. So we have some tarot cards here, and of course your messages from the energy of money. How can you attract it? This is an abundance reading. So you have your white gold dragon from Lyra, connects you to the highest Christ light. Develop your causal chakra. Bathe in ninth dimensional Christ light. So that's your first, that's really what you're here to do in this lifetime. That's your warrior spirit, your dragon energy. And then we have the Four of Swords coming up, and we have strength reversed here. So the Four of Swords. So this talks about the message that I'm getting for you in regards to abundance and bringing in whatever the life that you want also is believing that you deserve it without a shadow of a doubt. And, you know, we always say that even with pile 1, 2, and 3, there's always different energy and certainly different messages, but there's always a train of thought, or I like to say a sort of a red thread that goes along that connects each of them. And this, of course, because we're in pile 3, we can sense this. And of course, it's going along with collective energy, what's in the collective. That's what we're reading too. But it's really about factoring in your voice too, and feeling as though you're worthy of speaking up. And you absolutely are. Now, for you, there's been this element in pile 1 and 2 in different sort of fractions, and the word keeps coming up for you, fraction. Seeing yourself as completely whole, not fractioned. You've been working in different aspects of yourself from childhood, healing from that. A lot of you have had some things that have happened to you in childhood that have been mirrored throughout your life, and working through it. And they've been quite painful existences, and you've had some circumstances that you've had to work through. And coming into this understanding of not seeing yourself as fragmented anymore in any way, shape, or form, and having the courage to really speak your truth. Now, your truth is beautiful and gorgeous, but you've not always felt as though it's been the right time. Maybe the timing's off to say something, or maybe the right time isn't the right time in the world to say something, or maybe there will be repercussions. In past lifetimes, there may have been, probably was for you, repercussions for saying your truth that were not that great. So some of that will be an element of your past life, which we will work on in a minute. But your strength comes from standing in your own energy and standing in your own sense of worth. And this is something that you've really had to work through, pile 3, because you know, you've had to work through your sense of who you are, because you've often sort of gauged who you are based on how other people projected upon you, or based on how other people treated you. And unfortunately, they didn't treat you always that well. So, you know, you had a sort of very pragmatic sense of self. So, you know, if X, Y, and Z is happening, or excuse me, if this keeps happening, then obviously this is something that I need to work through, and this, that, and the other. And while it was wonderful that you took complete responsibility for everything that was going on in your life, you almost, and it's sort of strange to say, but we're going to say it, it's almost like you took too much responsibility for everything that was going on. You felt responsible for everyone and everything and every situation. And, you know, even when people were like, you know, you made me feel like this, or da 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 da. Yes, absolutely, they have a right to say you made me feel like this. But at the same time, you were also in a position where people were either projecting upon you, and they didn't take any responsibility for the energy that they were putting out. So, you know, somebody can go up to somebody and say, you made me feel like this, and they have a right to say whatever they want. But at the same time, the way in which they've interpreted the information, they need to take full responsibility for it too. You know, they could have been triggered, and whatever that person said triggered them, but it had nothing to do with the trigger. So you took on all of that information, took it as part of you, and like, all right, let me work through this, I want to be a better person. And the gorgeousness of that, of course, is that you were so responsible for everybody else's energy and everybody else saying this, that, and the other, X, Y, and Z, is that you took on everybody else's energy. Now, this came up a little bit in Pal 2. If you want to go back and check out Pal 2, that will be up to you. Again, very different energy. But there might be a little nugget of information that you can get in Pal 2. Always listen to your information if you feel like you need to go further and get more information. So this is about you carrying the burden of other people's sort of projections and letting them down. Letting them fall away. Now, this is an abundance reading, so let's get back to the abundance. Now, what's coming back in is that you're realizing that gathering your strength comes from honoring your gift. And honoring your gift is absolutely taking in fundamental truth. Everybody has this truth. There is a truth. Do it this way, or you won't go to heaven, or do it that way. Everybody has their own version of truth, right? And all it is really perception. A lot of people base their truth, quote unquote, on their feelings or their emotions, and it's not. It's not necessarily true. Unfortunately, it may be true for them, and that's their perception. They're absolutely 150% entitled to it, but it doesn't necessarily make it true for you. Ultimate truth is a sort of version of truth that it incorporates all truth with many different ways to get back to God. However you see God, the goddess, the universe, it's all one and the same, right? And there's no right or wrong way of getting to God or seeing God. If you see it through the Bible, that's great, that works for you. If you see it through the goddess, that's great, that works for you. It's all wonderful, right? We can't say that there's only one way of doing it. So for you, it's about getting back to your ultimate truth of who you are and why you're here. And you are here to hold that Christ light. You were born with that Christ light. Now, what happened was that Christ light was very bright when you were little, so you dumbed it down. You dumbed it down because it wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right time. What you continue to do, Pal 3, is dumb yourself down consistently throughout your life to get to the point where you've dumbed yourself down so much that you sort of lost your identity. Now, in some ways, that could be amazing, right? That could be absolutely amazing. It could be sort of life transforming. But not quite the way that you did it. In some ways, it was sort of debilitating because people who have a strong foundation can let go of the labels and then know they have a strong connection already. You didn't have that connection. You dumbed yourself down without really pulling in that connection yet. And that firm foundation. So when other people said things, it sort of canceled other things out. And then you sort of felt as though that you were energy, which again could be amazing, and you're coming into the amazing part now, but you felt like you were energy and you could fit anywhere. But again, there wasn't the strong kind of foundation, almost like you weren't grounded, that you could just rise up to heaven and go at any time. There was no grounding for you. So what you've been doing, and your connection to abundance and money, or whatever it is, when we say money, it's whatever makes your life richer, right? For you, the ironic thing is that you don't really care about money. It's something that you've really had to work through, but at the same time, you honor the fact, you're coming into the point where you're honoring the fact of what it can do and what it can do for other people, right? So you don't bow down to it by any stretch of the imagination, and you're not anymore going to put yourself in a position to do stuff just to get it, right? There has to be a reason to get the money for you, and sometimes it's like you've had to really, your relationship with money has been quite funny. You've had to kind of trick yourself to get it. All right, well, if I do this, then I can pay my rent, or I can buy this, that, and the other that I've really wanted, and that could really help X, Y, and Z. So that's why I'm going to go to work today. It's almost like you've sanctioned yourself out. All right, money's this, that, and the other, but I could do this with it, and then I could help somebody else. So your relationship with money is shifted. And your abundance level has shifted because you're coming into this really strong foundation of who you are. And with that, you get this really strong foundation. You get your strength back. Now, your strength has always been there, but it's almost like you gave it away to people who really needed it, which is a beautiful way of being. And now you're calling back all corners of your life, all corners of who you are, and you're building that strong foundation for you. You've always been very, you've been very courageous in how you've lived your life. It's almost like you would give away absolutely everything, and then you'd look back and go, oh, I could have used that actually. Why didn't I just keep that one thing for myself? It would have made this week a hell of a lot easier. So for you, it was about balance. You know, you've spent a lot of your life sort of like, again, fitting into everything, sort of chameleon-esque, not feeling necessarily too connected to yourself, you know, but you've also had a version of the world where you can see things from everybody else's point of view. Now that's wonderful. So we're asking you to come back into your physical body now, because it kind of feels like you're outside of your physical body. Coming back into your physical body, pile 3, reclaiming who you are, reclaiming your foundation, reclaiming your strength, reclaiming your power. And what happens there is that you step into your legitimate role, the role that you came into, and you shine that bright light, and you shine it for all to see without dumbing yourself down. And if they don't like it, they can go F themselves. That's just the way it needs to be. You've always been very cognizant of other people's energy and what they need at the time. But you know, if they were intimidated by you, you made yourself smaller. You did it. You're not doing that anymore. Your abundance, your connection to your abundance and money, bringing in the life that you want, is actually allowing yourself to shine freely in the vessel that you were given. Absolutely. Now, you may have had some weird ailments throughout your life. Because they could have manifested physically in your body because of the way that you've worked with energy. Those are and you know, certainly not a doctor, go do what you need to do, but those may be sort of dissipating within you right now, or you're coming up with a new way of dealing with it or how to work with it. You're getting the information that you need in order to pull out that energy and sort of, and heal from that, because that's something that you've had, and they could have been quite strange sort of quirks that you've had that you've learned to live with one way or another, you know, coming into, and that's not for all of you, but that will be for some of you. Now let's see, we're using this as if there's any more blocks here. Let's see what comes up for you so we can move you through these blocks. But this is a brilliant time for you to encompass all that bright, beautiful energy that you were born into. And all you have to do is shake it off, shine it up, and pull it and summon it back in, because you were born with that Christ-like energy. You just dumbed it down. So it's a beautiful time for you. Ah, love this. Joy, absolutely, coming into who you are without any compromises, So let's see what we have. Oh, gorgeousness. So we're going to do some Reiki now. We're going to start off with the power symbol. One of my favorite symbols. I say this about all of the symbols, you probably notice. So we're going to send the power symbol to start off, and then I want to do we did a Choku-rei. I want to do a Seihei-ki too. So we're bringing in the two elements, the beautiful balance of divine masculine and feminine, and then claiming your power. Just a little extra help here. Gorgeousness. Pile 3. Ava. And another power symbol here we're sending to you. So keep breathing as that Reiki comes to you. Now, always feel comfortable, listen to your intuition. You don't have to take in the Reiki if you don't want to. Always listen to you. Only your intuition knows you. But if you want to take in the Reiki, feel free to do that. And if I forget to tell you, you can do a little meditation at the end of the session when we finished, and you could drink some water, move through the energy too. So this is going to help you claim your power. For those of you who had a little codependency going on too, and that's just sort of the forefront, or the sort of end result of taking on so many people's energy too, and trying to figure things out. That's just it. You're not working with it. You've worked with the codependency, but just pulling the rest of that out, the energy of it out. And this is going to heal your reality awareness too, for coming back, reclaiming your strength, getting back into that joy. We want to remind you too, I think I said this in Pile 2, maybe even Pile 1, you know, there's a lot of this law of attraction stuff to pull in the abundance. Absolutely not. No, abundance is there. It's everywhere. You don't need to pull it in. It's right there for you. What we're doing in these sessions, what we're doing in this reading, is not for you to pull in abundance. It's for you to have that life where you have that power, where you see abundance everywhere. You're part of the abundant world, and then all you do is choose whatever it is that you want, if it's in the highest alignment with who you are and what it is that you are here to do on this earth. And you're here to bring in the Christ-like light, right? So We don't doubt in any way, shape, or form, Pal 3, that you are going to choose what's not only right for you, but what's right for the world. We don't have to worry about you. You've already worked on that ego stuff. You are absolutely good. You're working on a different level. So we don't have to worry with you for that. But we just want to remind you that getting back into your power, getting back into your joy, pulling back all the parts of yourself that you gave away because you're beautiful and you wanted people to be gorgeous, pulling that back, setting that foundation of strength for you, and then tweaking your beautiful perception to see that there is abundance everywhere. Go into the natural world, it'll be there for you. Abundance is there at any given time. All you have to do is connect your power and your energy to it. So let's get you some more energy with these beautiful cosmic dancer oracles. So much light in this reading, so much lightness, so much beauty, and just sort of inner child integration, skipping, loving, absolutely love. Tap into primal power, gorgeousness. Again, this is energy that you've come in with. This is ancient energy. These are, you've come in with very powerful guides. Let them help you too. And give birth. Now this, don't get freaked out. We're not, the abundance could be if you want a child, that's wonderful. There's many different ways to have a child. Physically having one is the most obvious way. So if that's what you want, that's wonderful. But this is a general reading. For more of you, this is giving birth to this new you, but not just that, but giving birth to this new way of being in the world where you have this life of abundance and call in whatever it is that you want. And you call it in from the depth of your soul. A lot of you are alchemists. A lot of you are magic makers. You know how to work with energy. Again, very powerful guide you came in with. You did not come in to do this alone. So relying on those guides, listening to those cues, listening to that intuition, absolutely beautiful. Let's see what else. So yeah, new energy coming in, new ways of being coming in, new ideas or ideas that you've had before, finishing off projects, bringing them to fruition and putting them out with incredible energy into the world where they'll be received wonderfully, stepping up in your life, next level stuff here. Oh my goodness. I love it when we do this on camera because, we get the magic here. I never look at the cards when I put them down because why would you? It's just kind of boring. But when you shuffle on camera, you get birth and birth. Get two here. For some of you coming into not just a connection with yourself, but a connection with your significant other, with a new person coming in. If you're already with some person, it's leveling up, either actually having a child or buying a house. It's leveling up, or a new level to your commitment. Give birth. You've got birth here again. Be receptive to new idea, child, or situation. This is a brand new beginning for you moving forward. Absolutely a new connection with the earth, a new connection with yourself, a new connection with your own power, which brings in the abundance that you are looking for. And again, for you, there's many different ways, as we've said, to work with the law of attraction, and some of them works and some of them, and some of them are preliminary and some of them work. And there's so many different information. I always say that, take a little bit from everybody and align yourself with the energy of the person that you're feeling and definitely sort of integrate that into your version of it, and it'll all work out. And some law of attraction places take you so far and then you need to go a little bit further, but for you this is about really gathering that life force, gathering that life that you really want, and listening to your inner being, and just really feeling as though you're in this sort of like life vortex where no matter where you turn, it's all available for you, and keeping that way of being. And again, calling back from every corner of the earth, every corner of existence, from past lives. You can work with your guides and meditations for this, pulling back and calling back every aspect of you that you gave away. And really sitting in this joyful moments of just like giggling, laughing. Again, the integration of the inner child, of just going out and seeing things through the sort of eyes of a child. I by chance was just flicking through the channels yesterday, and I just came across Harold and Maude. If you've ever seen that film, it's one of my favorites back in the day. Actually, Me and my roommates, who are really just family, we're not roommates, we're family. We had a dog and a cat, Harold and Maud. That's how far we took it. We named our pets that way. Um, After the beautiful characters, and it's just a reminder of, attachments, and how we see things, and getting so attached with the outcome, and I really want this and I really want that, and you're setting up in this light of love where you just see abundance everywhere, and you're like, this is, I'm going to go for this, what do you think, universe, and just bring it to you, this ease, this effortless, beautiful, joyful kind of looking through the world now with these beautiful, bright, childlike eyes, where anything is possible, because it really is, because you've been working on that energy and understanding it at its core, and understanding who you are. Once you get this foundation of who you are, trusting that this is your time, and trusting that you're the right person to bring in this light into the world, and getting that firm foundation for you, where you physically are grounded and tethered to this lifetime. You are here to be human, enjoy every aspect of it, instead of just sort of fitting in everywhere. That chameleon sense will not leave. You'll always be able to work with and fit into sort of any type of situation, and have that chameleon sort of sense. But we want you to have that chameleon sense without you losing any form of who you are. Again, not attached to your identity per se, but having a firm foundation for you first. So anchor, keep yourself grounded. We just did this. Again, absolutely brilliant. Just shuffled that on camera, and I had this in my hand because I wanted to finish my thought before we got into another thought. This is where we're ending. Anchor, keep yourself grounded. Again, keep yourself grounded into your own energy, your own knowing, your own self-worth, your own Christ-like. Go shine your light, be you. And again, attach yourself onto that abundant life that is in all around you. Pull in the essence of what it is. You can see it as a fabric. Abundance is a fabric all around you, and you just choose which thread you want, and then from there you can build your own blanket. So we hope this resonated with you. If it did, feel free to give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comments below. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, come subscribe and hit that bell icon, and come with us and join us at the Unicorn School of Light. That's the Unicorn School of, what is it called? I've forgotten what I'm called. Unicorn Light. Yes, Unicorn Light Tarot. Come join us, even though I don't remember who I am. It was all about you remembering who you are. So come join us regardless. We would love to have you if you haven't subscribed already. And of course, we have a ton of other resources down below that you can click on if you want extra support, love, light, whatever you need. All down below. I always list them down below, as well as the timestamps. Go be you. Shine that Christ light. Sending so much love and light to you. Don't forget to drink a little bit more water too after this, to let the Reiki move through you and help assist you as you move through to become, well, you already are your badass self. It's just about you realizing that. Stay safe and sane, Pal 3, until we meet again. Sending you so much love and light. Truly, truly, truly so glad to and honored to be able to be in a position to read for you today. Until we meet again. Bye-bye.